Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this part of the world. Welcome to another session of my presentation series. And this time, the topic is how to build your career as a real technical and analytical professional engineer. And that is applicable to all disciplines of engineering. My good name is John Kweku Amuotu, and I've been a professional electrical engineer for the past 31 years, and I'm based in the United States of America. Now, let's go to the next slide, and that is the outline of my presentation. And the first item of my presentation says that why the need to be a savvy. Savvy means it's a jargon in English, basically it means that very good technically and analytical as an engineer. Then what are the things that you need to work on before completing engineering school? And the next thing is right after engineering school, and you prepare yourself to learn the job. And after learning the job, what you need to do to basically grow your career and be successful as an engineer discipline. Next slide. And the question is, why do you need to be a savvy technical and analytical engineer? Okay, the first thing is basically to gain respect, and that is very important, right? Throughout your whole career, right, as an engineer, whichever discipline that you may be, you have to work and earn that respect. It just doesn't come like that. It's based on hard work, right? Okay. Then also, it helps you to produce quality work. Next is you take pride in that, as you become so savvy technically and become very analytical person and a critical thinking person in making decisions. Basically, you take pride in that part of attribute or strength as that part of you, right? Next is it helps you to achieve career growth, because once you have all these skills, right, and strength, it helps you to basically perform and achieve or implement and complete your work on time and also with less errors. So you are able to achieve that career growth easily. Next is building confidence, and that is very, very important, as a discipline engineer, gaining that confidence and basically to be able to speak, for your work. It's very important. It means that you have to be technically and analytically strong as an engineer. Next, this applies to all disciplines of engineering. And as you know, we have so many disciplines of engineering. We have electrical engineering, we have chemical engineering, we have civil engineering, environmental engineering, geodetic engineering, geomatic engineering, structural engineering, fire protection engineering, and so many other disciplines of engineering. So, what I'm trying to say is that it applies to all aspects of engineering. Next slide are the things that you need to do whilst you are in engineering school. And some of it probably the last 2 years before you complete engineering school. So the first thing you want to do is whilst you're in engineering school, right, start putting a good and catchy resume together, right? And as whilst you're in school, right, the industry know that you're still learning, right? So basically, what they focus on are your strengths and ability to learn and grow your career. That's what the industry recruiters and your industry bosses that you're gonna work for, that's what they look for. Right? So your resume should basically reflect those strengths and ability to learn, ability to grow, ability to work excellently in a team environment, ability to multitask. Very, very important. Ability to be a team player. Yeah. So ability to collaborate. Those are some of the important strengths that they look for, right? Okay. Next thing is you want to read storybooks and basically to build up your grammar and your vocabs. That's very important, right? The ability to be able to write good reports, ability to write good emails, right? That's very important to be successful as an engineer in whatever discipline that you are. It also helps you to basically build your confidence, right? Yeah, because you can basically express yourself easily to other people. Next is learn the best ways to withstand and making presentations before a crowd. Okay, so as you know that it is not easy, to stand in front of a crowd. A typical, example is, to stand in front of your management and upper management, all the way up to the VPs, right? Okay, um, there is a way that you have to build that confidence, and like I indicated, building that confidence is basically building your grammar and vocabs, and also building, uh, building the progress and knowledge and making presentations before a crowd. So you have to start doing that, right? It just wouldn't come just like that. It's a gradual build up, right? So whilst you're in school, practice in making presentations. You can start making presentations in class projects, right? Class assignments. Start making, standing in front of the class and making presentations, right? And have them critique you. If you have societies and clubs in schools, right? That's the time that you can take a good opportunity and basically come up with topics and basically, and basically make presentations, right? You can basically be part of a debating society, right? Where basically you have to argue your stand and basically based on facts. Yeah. So those are other ways basically that you can do and basically to build up your ability to gain that confidence to stand in front of a crowd to make a presentation. And that's part of the confidence building process. It's a process, it just doesn't come like that, right? But you have to start early whilst you are in engineering school or even in high school. Yeah, before you get to engineering school, then after your career, you still continue. Okay. Next is look for an internship program, right? So whilst you are in engineering school, as you know, engineering school is 4 years, right? Okay. So somewhere around the second year, then that is when you can start looking for internship with companies, right? Okay, so what does the internship do, right? Okay, so the internship is will basically take you away from the classroom environment where basically um, you wouldn't see much of field industry field activity, right? But now you are going into the industry. You're going to basically be working in groups. You're going to see what is in the industry based on what you have learned in school. And sometimes you will learn what is in the industry and even bring it back to school to basically help you to improve upon your uh, uh, syllabus, right? Okay. And also, this is an opportunity for you to start gaining that confidence and building upon it, right? How to deal with people, how to collaborate with people, how to talk to people, how to convince people to do the work for you. Right? And this is also a good opportunity for you to start learning, from other experts that are in the industry, for them to start imparting that knowledge. Next is study to write the fundamentals of engineering exam, right? This is what they call the FE exam, right? Okay, so whilst you are in your senior year, that is the time basically, to write the exam because that is fundamentals, right? Okay, and that is where the fundamentals are basically fresh in your mind. So that's the good time to study and pass the exam once and for all, right? Okay. Then what you can do is start reading journals, right? Okay, there are so many journals out there, all over the world, IEEE journals and many other, and basically societal journals. Then also we have industry conference proceedings that basically you can obtain from your school library, your school database, and start reading. This is where you can start building your confidence and getting to know how to write paper, how to write an abstract. That's where it starts. How to write an abstract, right? To be submitted to conferences, right? Before, when they accept your abstract, then you can put a paper together, right? To go and make presentations at conferences. This is where the confidence start building, right? In addition to all this that I've said above, right? This also complements all these criteria that I've indicated above. Next is attend IEEE. IEEE has many societies that you can attend. The Power and Energy Society, and they have a lot of conferences that they provide. Electric Machinery Society, that basically provides a lot of conferences on electric machinery, right? Any other industry, a lot of them, right? Especially in the petroleum industries. Right? So this is the time for you to attend all these conferences. And when you are in school, right? And what it is some of these conferences they even give a free admission to students that are in school. You don't need to pay any conference fees. So this is the time to basically continue to build your confidence. You'll be meeting other industry expertise, right? You'll be attending, you'll be seeing how they make presentations during these conferences. Then learn from them how these presentations are made, right? And practice. Next is tag and shadow. Learning opportunities from professors and other industry guest lectures, right? Okay, so in some of engineering school, a lot of the engineering schools, right? Some of the professors are basically work on projects from the industry, right? Based on funding that is provided to the school, right? So this is the time for you to tag on these and basically get an opportunity whilst you are working on these research projects, and an opportunity to visit the industry that basically provided that funding, and for you also to interact and learn from them to help you in your research. Sometimes too, during whilst you are in school, you have industry guest lectures to come in to give you a presentation on the guest lecture, right? This is the time to tag along them, ask them questions, right? Any questions are mind-boggling questions that basically bothers you. This is the time to ask them, right? And this is the time also get an opportunity to wherever they are working, get an opportunity basically for the whole class to go on an excursion to see how the whole work process is all about, and an opportunity to even after you've learned what is there, bring it to class. Next is your engineering textbook, right? Okay, so think about it this way. Your engineering textbook is not there for you to just use it for class and pass your exams and just throw it out there, right? Basically, your engineering textbook, it's basically the theoretical part. And some of the engineering textbooks even delineates or it tells you a lot of practical information, what is in the field, right? So this is a good opportunity to ask yourself, what I'm reading, which area of engineering does it apply? For instance, let's take an example. You are in electrical engineering class, and you're taking a class on circuits, right? A course on circuits, right? Let's say 3 credit hours, right? And within these circuits, there's so many topics, right? Okay, so you ask yourself, okay, let's say they're giving you a circuit for you to solve the current flow through different branches, right? And let's say the current flow from the source, okay, the current flow that is going to the load that is connected to the circuit, right? You ask yourself, how does this concept that I am reading in class, I'm reading from this text, I'm reading the textbook to pass my class, I'm reading the textbook to pass basically do my homework and get a 10/10 and get 100%. Which area of the industry does it apply? So let me give you an example. Okay, so you have circuits, right? Circuits applies 100% in electrical engineering, the power industry, right? Let's say for a substation, right? Substation has transmission line, right? That comes in and outgoing lines, right? And within the substation, there are circuits, right? So the circuits are in a simpler form that you're solving in that book is basically its real application is in electrical engineering that you can find from a substation, right? We have outgoing feeders that goes to a load, right? And that is the load current that you're solving from there. Okay. Next is what you can do is build up your LinkedIn profile, and I'll tell you, LinkedIn is so powerful, and I'm talking from experience. I basically take a look at my LinkedIn profile, and basically see what is out there, like once or twice a day, and it has enormous things for you to learn, right? There are so many in the groups like discrete groups, protection group, power transformer group, artificial intelligence group, power system analysis group, power transmission HVDC group. These are so many groups that are part of the umbrella of LinkedIn that you can join, where basically you learn tons. There are tons and tons of resources that you can learn from it, right? I mean, I know that you are in school, right? So basically, technically, you're growing yourself. Yeah, you're not that basically. I would say that let's say you're about 10% technically, right? But an opportunity from LinkedIn is that you get to see what other people pose out there, questions that other people pose out there based on industry problems that they are having, and they are looking for solutions, right? So this is a time to read what are the questions they are asking, and basically read all the solutions that industry experts have provided, the answers that industry experts have provided. Let's say, for instance, somebody has posed a question about pushing failure, out of a transformer, right? Okay, so basically he's going to put out the testing results for the bushing, right? The C1 capacitance testing results, the tan delta testing results, tan 1, then capacitance 2 and tan delta for the two sections, right? For the bushing, right? Then the person is also, if they did an oil analysis, I will put out the oil quality testing and DGA analysis of the oil, right? Then maybe he's looking for solutions. How does he find out what are the diagnosis of the problem with the bushing, right? So then you scroll down to see what answers other people are providing. Then you read. No need. I know that you are in engineering school, and basically the confidence is not there for you to provide solutions. But that is how you learn, and you learn from how others provide answers. Then you build upon it, right? Also, there are tons of information, resources, enormous resources in YouTube videos, right? Spend that time, right? And watch those videos. There are a lot. Manufacturers, OEMs, vendors have put a lot of our videos out there, right? This is the time for you to cultivate the habits of sitting down, having time for yourself to sit down and learn. Watch those videos, write notes, and this is how you build up your confidence. You'll build up your technical capability. You'll build up your analytical capability. You'll build up your critical thinking capability. Okay, so now let's talk about what you need to do after you have completed engineering school, right? Okay, so in the previous slide, we did talk about all the things that you need to do whilst you are in engineering school. Okay, so right after graduating, you need to have an updated resume. Okay, and that updated resume should indicate your strengths, right? Okay, so what typical strengths that you can take. I'm just giving you example, of typical strengths that are out there, right? Okay, so as you're beginning your career, right? Okay, what you can say that, okay, I'm building up my ability to become technical. Okay, then analytically, you can say that, okay, I've been an analytical thinker, but I'm continuing to build upon it, right? Then you can talk about communication, verbal and written communication, right? Very, very important. Okay, so because, remember in the previous slide, I indicated that, those are some of the things that you need to build upon it whilst you're in high school and engineering school, right? Reading textbooks, reading literature, reading journals. That is how you build that confidence, how to write technically. You'll be surprised that there are a lot of engineers out there and in various disciplines, and a lot of them don't know how to write technical English, right? How to write abstracts. It's a few of them, percentage, that know how to write abstract, know how to write a paper, right? So this is what will distinguish you from other candidates, right? Okay. Then multitasking, team player, right? Ability to be able to, if there's a complex problem, right? Even if you're in engineering school, right? Complex problems comes up. So this is an example that you can say that okay, you have the ability to basically break a complex problem into very simple terms, to be understood by other non-engineering professionals, right? Okay, so because this is a very good part of your professional career where you'll be dealing with a lot of non-engineering professionals in management, financial people, accounting people, project management people that don't know anything about your what you know in engineering, right? Okay, so it is up to you to be able to break it into simple terms for them to understand, right? So that is part of a strength that they look for. Then another strength is self-starter, right? This is one of the things that they look for. Very, very important. Somebody that don't wait for your supervisor to tell you what to, basically you need to take on this stuff. You should be able to self-start, right? And discuss with your supervisor. Very, very important. Okay, take a look at the radar. What are the tasks on your radar, right? Okay, I can do this, right? Okay, let me talk to my supervisor and see if he agrees with it. Very, very important. Then self-motivator, very, very important. As a discipline engineer, right, you should be motivated. Very, very important, right? And that's what they look for. People that get motivated and basically take on challenging tasks, right? And take responsibility, take ownership of it, right? Okay. So another strength that you can talk about is taking on challenging tasks. I've seen a lot of engineers that dodge challenging tasks, right? If you do that, basically what it is that you lack that confidence. You lack that confidence. So one of the strengths that you can say that I take on challenging tasks and take ownership of it. Make sure that I complete it on time and with high quality. So that is very important, right? Okay, so just to name a few, these are some of the strengths that you can indicate it. And some of them that you say that okay, you are continuously building upon those strengths. Okay, another example of it's basically industrial, so very agile, very dynamic. Dynamic means that somebody that can adapt to various situations, right? Can adapt to various pressure, because managers want somebody that can work extremely under pressure, and that is throughout my whole 31 years experience in this industry. There are times that you have to work under pressure and deliver, and deliver the work, right? And that is what they do look for, people that can work under pressure and not complain, right? Okay, so this is a few examples of strengths that I made mention, and another example is proactive, somebody that looks ahead, take a look at things that can create a problem and start, finding solutions to it, right? Very, very important, and planning too is very important. Very good planner, right? very good planner, somebody that likes to prioritize. And basically, as you know that in this industry, sometimes the work can be so hectic that sometimes you prioritize, and within, let's say, a week, and within that week you have to reprioritize. And sometimes even within a day you have to reprioritize and reprioritize, based on how urgent the work comes in, right? You'll be working on this task, then another work comes in that is more important, and basically the customer is waiting, time sensitive, they call it time sensitive, that you have to basically shove this one aside and work on this to make sure that you complete the task by the end of the day, right? Okay, so next is once you're able to get a resume, right? The next thing is basically submit your resume. Look at there are a whole lot of industry job search engines out there. Indeed is one of them, right? And a whole lot, and sometimes you can just go through headhunters, recruiters, if that works best for you, right? Okay, then you send your CV, and basically lucky you interview, right? And you learn the job, right? Okay, so once you learn the job, I know that as a young engineer, sometimes it can be intimidating, because you are new, right? What am I going to do? You'll be asking yourself, what am I going to do? How am I going to fit in, right? Okay, don't worry about it, right? It's a gradual process. Yeah, it's a gradual process, But the good thing is, you learned some of these things whilst you were in engineering school, right? During internship. So it's the same environment that you're coming in after school, right? Okay. The only thing I'll say that, let's say if the person has not done any internship whilst was in school, then he's going to start. Then that's when basically, the person will have a lot of, mind boggling questions to ask, But, just stay cool. And like I said, it's a gradual process, right? And basically you start building your career. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is once you get yourself situated, start working. The first thing you want to do is start building your work relationship with your peers, your supervisors, right? Across departments, right? Very, very important, right? Okay. So you build your work relationship with your peers, right? Then with supervisors, then managers, directors, VPs, right? Then across departments, right? Because within your organization, you have different departments, right? Okay. And the assignments that they're going to give you, the tasks that they're going to give you, the projects that they're going to give you, you're going to be working across different disciplines, right? If let's say if you are an electrical engineer, you are in a project-related cohort, projects, right, where you have different disciplines, right? You're going to be basically interacting with all these people, right? Environmental engineers, structural engineers, and many more, mechanical engineers, many more, right? So it is at this time that you want to start building your work relationship with all these. And the reason why you ask yourself, why do I have to, what it is, it helps you to get what you need, let's say, to do your work. Building relationships, is very important. Building relationships is very important because you can just pick a phone if you know the person, right? You need a data from the person. You need the information from the person. You need the person to come and take a look at something that you are importing, data that you are importing. All that you need is just a phone call, right? And the person basically will be very receptive because he knows you. You have that work relationship with the person. So that's how building relationships goes a long way, right? It basically makes you completing your work very seamless, very quick, and get your job done with high quality, right? So that's how you build your work relationship. And beyond that, right? Beyond that, let's talk about beyond that, right? To um, the outside industry, right? We have service industry, right? And basically you're gonna have vendors, right? You have vendors, right? So the service industry, let's say if you're working for a utility company, right, you're gonna have a service companies that will be basically, sometimes some of the utilities companies do the testing themselves. Sometimes too they basically contract with the other service companies to come and do the testing for them. So you need to build up a relationship with all these people. Very, very important, right? Very, very important, because once you're on the same rapport and level with them, basically it goes a long way. They'll get the job done for you, and basically will submit every data that you need. Then comes to construction crew. If you are in the construction crew, basically new projects, green projects, brown projects, modification projects, right? You need to build a relationship. You need to build a relationship with the construction managers, project managers, health, safety, and environmental crew. Very, very important, right? That you build a relationship with these people. Then the industry. Let's go to the industry, right? Okay, like Dobo, right? Dobo, you need to build a relationship with because you'll be utilizing a lot of their testing equipment, right? Okay, so let's say you have a question about a testing results. Then you can reach out to the Dobo forum and basically ask a question easily, right? And basically they can provide you an input, right? Because it's all based on their relationship that you build during conferences that these industries have, right? Okay. Next is you need to identify an experienced professional, right? Okay, so let's say you just came out of school, you're about to start, you've started work, right? Okay, so definitely they all know that you don't know anything, believe me. So don't pretend like you're going to show hold up your shoulders and bluff like you know something. You don't know anything, right? So what you want to do is identify, let's say, 2 or 3 people that are very savvy, very well respected, very well known, right? Okay, so your goal is to tag along them, humble yourself, and that comes to the next criteria. Humble yourself. Don't raise your shoulders, right? Believe me, if you raise your shoulders and bluff, they will never teach you. I'm being honest with you. They'll hide things from you. Okay? So humble yourself. Give respect to them, right? And they will impart that knowledge. And I'm talking from experience, where at the beginning part of my career, working at Black & Beach, where I was lucky enough to be working with very savvy technical group at Black & Beach, where I had about 2 or 3 people working with me and imparting that knowledge. So that is how I grew up my career. And I was very humble. And same applies to when I was in the utility industry, starting off from Emirates, right? How basically I started learning how to perform generator inspection and electrical testing, right? I was trained by one of the industry experts, one of the top industry experts. Now let's come back to Exelon, dealing with motors, generators, right? I was lucky enough to be in a savvy group, technical group, hardcore technical group, right? Top well-known industry professionals. But the key is I was humble myself, learned from them, and also read a lot of technical information on a daily basis. So that's how I built myself on that level. Okay, so next is on a daily basis, right? Spend about 30 minutes early in the morning before work and after work, right? Read technical literature. Read journals, publications, textbooks, right? Very, very important. And even during your lunch break, when you are grabbing something to eat, right? Very, very important. That is a good time basically to open a book, and basically read. Let's say, and even, if somebody has written, a nice piece, a nice narrative, within your group, right? This is the time to basically digest on it. Ask questions if you don't understand. Okay. Next is start learning how to write abstracts for the industry conference, right? And basically refreshing this. There are a lot of engineers, very good engineers. I'm telling you, very good engineers, but they don't know how to write abstracts. So learning how to write an abstract basically distinguishes you from the rest, right? Yeah, very, very good engineers, basically savvy engineers, technically savvy engineers, analytical engineers, but they don't know how to write abstract. So this is the time to learn how to write abstracts, to submit for acceptance. at industry conferences. And this is part of your building of your confidence. Very, very important. Okay. Next is learn how to write business and formal reports. Remember, the previous slide, right? I indicated, whilst you were in engineering school, you want to be reading books, journals, storybooks, right? This is the time that, remember, you build up your vocabs, your grammar. So, and also technical writing. Right? You can even take a class on how to write business, formal reports. Right? Okay. So, this becomes part and parcel of it. And basically, it just evolves you in taking on assignments, basically, that can help you to write business and formal reports. And believe me, upper management, that's what they look at, right? That's what they look for, right? This is basically what will take you right before upper management. Other than that, you're going to be stuck up here, right? And they won't even know the work you're doing. Right? But your ability to be able to write business report and formal reports, right? Like I told you that there are good engineers, savvy engineers, technically savvy engineers, right? But they don't know how to write a business and formal report. So, as part of your career that you are growing, right, learn how to write those business and formal reports, how to present those reports to upper management. And in addition to you being able to build up, write those reports, it builds up your confidence. You see that your confidence will just be building up. Okay. Next is learn a programming software. Right. As you know that there are many programming softwares that are out there, much based on newer technologies. And as part of your career, right, managers, supervisors, directors, VPs, like employees that utilize programming tools, algorithms to identify gaps and to improve and enhance processes, because the goal is basically to achieve a higher efficiency, improve basically KPIs, right? So they look out for people that are savvy with artificial intelligence, data analytics, and there are so many out there, Python programming, right? Even Excel, data visualization, right? Remember, managers, upper managements, VPs, directors, they look for data visualization, because as much as you write all those reports, as lengthy as it is, right, it's the visual charts is what basically helps them to identify and comprehend, also in addition to reading what you are presenting. That pictorial view is very important. So that is why it's very important as a young engineer for you to learn all these programming tools out there. Believe me, it goes a long way to distinguish you with the other engineers and builds up your confidence. Okay. Next is stay completely away from politics. Very, very important, because let me tell you, if you add politics to your career, believe me, you'll be there, and you will lack that confidence, right? You will lack that confidence. That confidence is going to go away, right? Because you end up not learning anything to grow your career. And all that you are doing every time is, how do I play my politics to get ahead? And believe me, at a point in time, you get ahead, but it's going to show, right? Everybody's going to know that, and they will never respect you. Never respect you. If they say anything, they'll say behind you, and you won't hear it, right? They will never respect you, right? In addition, if you add politics as part of your career growth, you're always nervous. You go into meetings, you're scared. The confidence is not there. because you lack the technical know-how, you lack the analytical know-how, you lack the knowledge and peace to be able to challenge. And all that you are doing is to find ways and means to bring somebody down or to destroy somebody. And if you add that part of your career, no way. It's going to show up, and believe me, they will never respect you. And the goal as a young engineer is to gain that respect. Build upon that respect, right? Build upon that respect. Next is you want to study hard. Very, very important. For the professional engineering exam, right? You've written the fundamentals of engineering. That's the basics, right? Engineering exam. And you've been able to pass it, right? Next is to study hard. Let's say after 3 years of your career, where basically you've learned something, right? Something practical in the field, right? Okay. Then you can study hard, right, and pass your professional engineering exam. And as you know, NCES has many exams for every discipline that you can think, every engineering discipline that you can think of, you know. And I'm just talking from experience that basically I took my PE exams in 1999, right? That's when I studied hard, basically for 3 to 4 months and just passed it one time, right? And during that time, I would say that it was more essay questions. It wasn't these days they have multiple choice questions and they've made it easier for people to pass. But our time, it was essay questions, very hard questions, right? 6 questions in the morning for you to basically they give you answer booklet for you to basically answer it, and one question basically takes a whole question for you to answer takes a whole question paper, the whole page. So 4 or 5 pages, 6 pages for that. Then 6 questions in the evening, right? 6 questions in the evening, right? So that's what the PE exam in electrical engineering was in those days, and that time the pass rate was about 19% or so, if I remember. Yeah, the passing rate was 19%. It was tough, right? Okay, right. So just study hard and write and basically pass your PE exams, because what it is, your PE exams basically adds a little bit of tab to your shoulders, meaning that especially if you are in the consulting industry, right? Where the PE exam, the PE licensure, it's a must. Matter of fact, it's a criteria for you to get promotion in the consulting industry. If you don't have the PE exams, if you don't pass it, no way you get promoted, right? Because they bid on projects based on the number of licensure that the engineers that are going to work on that project have. Right? That's basically why the consulting engineering companies basically enforce you to write the PE exams and pass it, right? And other industries basically it gives you a plus, right? Okay, so let's say if you are the owner's engineer and basically let's say you in a utility plant, power generation facility, right? And basically you are the owner's engineer for a project, and basically you have to interface with other professional engineers from the consulting engineering company that is going to do the design for you. Basically, with you having the PE exam, right, the PE licensure, basically gives you a plus, and basically gives you that respect in basically dealing with them, discussing the project, and basically reviewing basically review comments, and also basically accepting review comments and basically implementing that's very important. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now let's continue with what you need to do to basically grow your career, build a confidence to be a savvy technical and analytical discipline engineer. Okay, right after engineering school. Okay, so what you need to do next is start writing papers. Don't wait for somebody to tell you to write papers. Right after you get on board, right after 1 year. Let's say after you get your feet wet, 1 year. Start writing abstracts to submit for acceptance. So once after the acceptance, you can start writing the paper, or you can basically basically do it in parallel. You have an abstract, you start writing the paper that basically supports the abstract, right? Okay, so because I mean, the sending abstract, I mean, you get other conferences or industries that would basically will not accept. That doesn't mean that if you send it to try other conferences, and definitely somebody will accept your paper, your abstract for you to submit the full paper, right? Okay, and these days, IEEE formally IEEE accepts abstracts, right? But these days they want the full paper, right? So that itself tells you that once you have the abstract, then that is when you need to put the full paper together and basically send it for submittal and acceptance, right? Then attend and basically, if your paper get accepted, basically, be ready to present. And like I told you, this is part of the building of confidence, and and like I'm telling you that there are great, great savvy technical engineers, great engineers out there, but they don't know how to write papers. So if you learn how to write papers, good papers, right, this is what distinguishes you from the others. Next is attend industry conference, right? Okay, so if you continue to attend industry conferences based on various areas that you work in as a discipline engineer, first of all, you get opportunity to meet your industry peers that are also working in that area, right? Then build a, LinkedIn, relationship with them. And basically, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to them, right? Yeah. Next is during these conferences, right? They present papers on typical problems that they've had and how they solve it, right? Let's say they had a typical example is they had a transformer failure due to this, and then after the investigation and basically we found out this, and this is the solution we implemented. So this is all part of your career building, how problems are solved, right? And that is that is what the managers are looking for, somebody that can solve a problem, right? So that's somebody that wouldn't run away from problems, right? Yeah. So basically, if you attend all these conferences, this is the time that basically you start building your company. You see that it just comes like that. It just comes like that. Okay, and basically from there basically you can start making your presentations, right? Okay, and as your papers get accepted, then you can continue writing papers, writing more papers, more papers, more papers. So all this becomes part of your basically your career and part of your resume border. Then the next thing you want to do is, okay, like I indicated, you're starting off as an engineer right from school after a year or within a year, right? There's not that much right? And they know it. Right? So don't raise your shoulders. Don't draw horns. Humble yourself. Go to the field with the technicians, the operators, right? And learn from them. Ask questions. Observe what they are doing. If they are using drawings, schematics, wiring drawings, 1 lines, 3 lines, to solve a problem, ask questions. Right? Ask questions. This is how you learn from them. And from your side, what you have to do is basically, add complement it with the theory, right? Okay, you learn the practical side from the technicians and operators, right? Then you complement it with the technical info. So this is how you can build yourself savvy as an engineer. Okay. Because there are many good engineers out there, but hands-on, when it comes to hands-on, how to basically perform testing, yeah, they don't know it, And I can, I'll tell you, when I was working at Exelon, right, I was in a group where basically we perform the inspection and electrical testing of the generator ourselves. And you're talking about, for each nuclear generator facility, right? Each generator is rated at 650 MVA, very large generator, right? And we do the inspection and electrical testing ourselves. And I was the one basically, that was doing it. And we basically 10 nuclear power plants, and basically we have a schedule where each person during a major outage, we go to everybody goes to his site, and basically we do the electrical inspection. So this is part of the hands-on thing that I'm talking about, where I learned the hands-on from expertise. I humbled myself to learn this hands-on from this expertise that were already there, and gain that knowledge, and I was doing it myself. Okay, so because managers, supervisors want people that can have that knowledge. Though sometimes you run into situations where basically, if you are working with union people, they don't, when especially the maintenance crew, and operations crew, because they are unionized, they don't, and you are the engineer, you are working with them, they don't allow you, based on their union, to be holding tools or to perform the actual hands-on, but you can give them the technical directions to do the work. It's all based on that. But sometimes if you build that relationship, and based on like ability, they can give you the go ahead to do the testing with them. It's all based on the build up of relationship that you build with them. Okay. So next is basically learning the field by basically performing the test and inspection yourself, and like that's what I explained to you. It's basically humble yourself, learn from them, practice, let them critique you. Even if they laugh at you, don't worry about it. It's part of it, right? Beginning part, yeah, they'll laugh, because you're learning, right? So don't worry, So build your confidence, build your confidence, and believe me, you build that work relationship with them, and man, yeah, they'll like you, and basically they'll impart all that knowledge out to you. Okay. Yeah. Next is ask questions, right? Don't be shy, right? Don't think that any question that you ask, they will laugh at you. No, 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 no. Even if it's a stupid question, ask, right? Ask, ask. Okay. Then you need to have a notebook, right, where you can write notes. You can always refer to, right? Very, very important, and that's what we're doing. Throughout the beginning part of our career, right? I will write notes and write, ask questions, right? Ask questions. Okay, so and nowadays, basically, technology has helped us, and basically, we have search engines, right? We have YouTube, we have LinkedIn, we have so many things. So if you have any question, just all that you have to do is basically Google search, and you get the answers out there, right? Okay. Sometimes there are questions that basically it's in a gray area. It's not a yes or no. So that's when basically you have to tap into industry expertise or other experts that are out there. Right? Okay. Next is have an analytical approach, right? Okay. So being analytical as an engineer, very, very important, very, very important, right? Okay. And how do you gain that confidence and learn how to be analytical, right? Because to be technical is not only, right? You have to add that analytical approach. You have to add that. Okay, so being analytical is basically having tying any decision analysis that you do, right? Recommendation that you say to industry standards, to company engineering standards, industry engineering standards, best practice, company best practice. Then also second review from experienced engineers, right? Okay. You also have to think about the cost benefits. Very, very important. What you are analyzing and the recommendations and the decisions you are making, right? You need to implement a cost benefit. How much cost? And what is the benefits, right? And what is the benefit? So those are some of the things that you have to enter. There's so many economic analysis that is done, MPV, right? Is done to basically determine basically the cost and benefit approach, right? So these are some of the things that basically talks about the extensive analytical approach in making decisions, right? Then, to minimize your risk in making decisions, right? What do you have to do? You have to basically discuss your analysis, right? The decisions, the recommendations, everything that you have taken to basically, all the supporting documents with across the board, extensive collaboration with other departments, other stakeholders, right? Discuss with OEMs, vendors, right? Very, very important. Then, critical thinking. Think. Outside the envelope. Push. Ask yourself, okay, I've considered all this. What else? You see that, when you start asking yourself that, then, you remember that, oh, okay, I need to consider this person, or this department, or this person, and tag that person for a feedback on the job. The next thing is very, very important. The last but not the least is as a young engineer, right? Any work that you do, when you're growing your career, you're building that experience. Any work that you do, any report that you do, any design that you do, always don't just submit it. Ask a second person for review. Send it to about 2 or 3 people or 4 for review. Comments, right? Before you discuss the review comments, before you send it out the next level. Very, 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 very important. Okay, so with that comes to the end of my presentation, and hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thank you so much, and look out for my next series of presentation. Thank you.